Hi, everyone. So, tonight I want to talk about our um, unfulfilled New Year's resolutions, right? So, what happens when you make a New Year's resolution, right? You're very excited. It's the beginning of the year. You make a resolution. You say, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And you get all excited, and you end up, you get a gym membership. And what happens I'm going to say by March 1st, right? All of a sudden, it's not done. And next thing you know, it's like you just drop it, right? Like it didn't, that you never really said it. It just disappears into the ether, and you think that nothing is going to happen. Well, tonight, we're going to figure out why it is that, well, maybe not tonight, but today in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out why, right? You set these goals, but then you're not motivated to really fulfill them, right? Why do we botch our New Year's resolutions? So let's get to it. So I have I have a whole bunch of goals, and every year I get very excited to do my New Year's resolutions. But what happens? Nothing happens, right? Like for instance, in the past couple of years, I'm not even going to talk about what it was that was happening because it's really irrelevant at this point. But what I want to talk about is the fact that just slowly but surely, right, I gained 23 pounds, right? Everybody knows why. We were all home, we were comfortable, we didn't have to do much of anything. Um, so of course I gained a few pounds. So what happens? I said, okay, now that everything is going back to normal, right? The new normal. Now maybe I can start, thinking about, taking off this weight. So I put it, of course, I made it my New Year's resolution. So um I don't even think that I even started to fulfill my New Year's resolution. I think it just sounded really good. It was something to put on my list, but I never really followed up with it. Not really, right? Because everybody knows that around the time that we make New Year's resolutions, it's also winter in New York City, right? So because it's winter in New York City, right? Everybody's inside. It snows, it's cold. Who's going outside to the gym, right? So basically, with that being said, did I really want to lose weight? Why did I make that my New Year's resolution? So, this is something that we always do, right? This is what we do. This is the reasoning now. Looking back, of course, I can say, yeah, it makes total sense. Why did I even put it on my list? I knew that in January I wasn't going to go to the gym, right? Usually people start going to the gym um around that time because they want to look really good in the summer, but that wasn't even my goal, right? I just said I wanted to lose the weight. I wanted to lose 23 pounds, right? Let's say. But we always do that. We do the same things all the time. So let's just like break down some of the reasons why it doesn't work. One of the reasons why it doesn't work is that maybe that's not something that you really want to do, right? That goal really didn't motivate me. It didn't motivate me. Every time you make a goal and you say I want to lose weight, the first thing you think about is you have to deprive yourself of the foods that you love, right? That's just like if you set the goal that um that you want to save money. It means that now you can't buy the things that you want. You can't spend the money that you want. You just have to be more responsible, right? Anytime that you make a goal and it turns out that you have to deprive yourself of either some type of freedom to spend or some type of freedom to eat whatever you want, you're not going to follow through with your goals, right? Because you're looking at it very negatively. And it's also a task, right? It's something that you have to plan for. It's something that you have to really prepare for. If you're going to lose weight, you're going to have to prepare your foods. And I happen not to be a very organized individual, and therefore, going to food shopping and getting all the things that I want. And once I'm in the grocery store, I see the donuts and I see those beautiful pistachio, what is it, muffins, and I want to get those too. Right. So right away, even before I get out the gate, I've already basically botched my New Year's resolutions. When you say that you want to save money, the same thing happens, right? You say, "Oh my goodness, I have to go to the bank," or you know how they have like these all these systems, like these envelope systems and all of these things. They never work for me because, like I said, I'm not organized, and I'm sure that I'm not alone. We want to do these things, but also we have to figure out ways that it's going to be easiest for us, right? So if I wanted to lose weight, right, maybe I should do something. Maybe I should start walking, like something that I enjoy, or walking my dog, right? So maybe I should say, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my dog every day, right? Or maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to instead of spending money on going out every other day, right, eating out, what I can do is I can actually cook my meals, right? Maybe that's something that I can do that's more feasible, and I actually don't mind cooking, and I don't mind going out for walks, right? So those are things that you could put into place, or that I can put into place, so that this way I can really get the ball rolling. So just tonight, I had a great conversation with another one of my very close friends, and we were talking about the same issue, right? Like, why do we say that we don't want to do certain things, or when we set a goal, why can't we do them? So we started to talk about the fact, like, she says that she wanted to drive, right? She needs to learn how to drive, right? But then I said, well, if you want to drive, why don't you just go ahead and take a class, right? All you have to do is take one class. But then she says, no, what the problem is that I'm fearful. I'm afraid of other vehicles. I'm afraid to drive, et cetera, et cetera. So she had a lot of fear around driving, right? So I said, okay, so if you are so fearful of driving, then why do you want to drive? So then she said, well, it's imperative for me to drive. How am I going to get around if I don't learn how to drive? So I said, okay, so if you really want to drive, then why don't you just take one class, right? Take one class. So she says, yeah, I could take the class, but I don't even have a permit yet. Hello, right? If you don't have the permit, how are you going to take the class? How are you going to drive? Is this something that you really want to do? So do you see? So basically, all of those fears that she was talking about initially were completely unfounded, because you don't even have this situation where you could just go out and drive. If somebody wanted you to take you out to for a lesson tonight, you couldn't go because you don't have a permit, and they probably wouldn't want you behind their wheel. And in case something should happen, then they would be completely liable for you getting into an accident, right? So those are kind of like the things that we have to check before we start talking about realizing our goals, right? So my suggestion is, before we start to get any deeper into how we're going to fulfill um our resolutions, or how we're going to start dusting off our resolutions, is maybe the way that we should dust them off is just take them out and start reading them, right? Is this something that you really want to do? Right? Do you really want to lose weight? If you decide that it's not a priority and it shouldn't be at the top of your list, just throw it to the bottom of your list, right? It doesn't have to completely disappear. You don't have to forget about it. I hear some people saying that you have to completely forget about it. I don't agree. I just think that maybe some things could rise to the level of priority on your list, and once you start taking action to fulfill those things, maybe the losing weight, right, might be I'm gonna say like something that happens on the way to you achieving the goal at number one. Maybe the goal at number five now gets fulfilled because now you're happier, you're busier, you're doing the things that you really love to do, right? This is what I think we should do. Also, if you really want to save money, right, or whatever it is, whatever your list is, make sure that you're going through every one And really, is this something that I really want to do? What is the talk that I'm talking every time that I mention this particular goal? Right? Is this something that I really want to do? Why do I want to do it? Which is another way that you can really figure out if it's something that you really want to do, right? Why do I want to lose 23 pounds? Right? Is it just because I want to look good in my clothes, or is it something that or is it maybe like my health is being affected? Like those are the things that you should be asking yourself. Why do I want to save all this money? Is it because I'm trying to retire shortly? Is it because I want to buy a car? Is it because I want more security? Because I think like if you give it a good why, then it becomes more imperative and then you can move it up or down, right? As you're dusting off each of them, right? You can move them up and down. They're your goals, right? You can do whatever you want with them, right? They don't have to disappear. If you want them to disappear, you can. They might reappear at a later date. But as far as I'm concerned, they're your goals. Dust them off by one, right? Polish them up, right? And either put them at the top of your list or move them down to the bottom of your list, and you address them as they come up. And that's what I have to say about that. I mean, that's what I'm going to start doing. Um, in my next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start really talking about how I'm going to set my goals and the ones that I really dusted off and why I dusted them off and the questions that I really asked myself. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. This is really awesome. I'm really excited about really talking with everybody about this. Please make sure that you're liking, subscribing, and sharing my videos. Okay. Thank you so much. And I will talk with you soon. Thank you.